Welcome back. Recently, Cami went fishing for Sucker Days. Let's take a look.
We found a gorgeous day to be outside, so I'm gonna do some fishing. And with me is my scout, Tim Baker. Tim, thanks for taking me fishing today.
Oh, absolutely, my pleasure.
So we're not just fishing though, we are grabbing, sucker grabbing. What's the difference?
Well, grabbing is actually snagging the fish. And it's because you're throwing a hook out and you're just jerking and getting them, as the Ozark phrase grabbing came from. And so we're not fishing with bait. We're not waiting on them to bite a hook. What we're doing is we can see the fish, and so when they go by our hook, we're going to jerk and hook a fish and bring them in.
Very different technique. Is it, if someone's used to fishing, is this hard for them to learn, or is this something anyone can come out and do?
It takes a little bit of practice with the casting and using the equipment that we have, but yet anybody familiar with being on the water can pick it up pretty quick.
Yeah, and how long have you been doing this?
I've actually been grabbing suckers since about 2017. So it took me a while to ever get started, but once a friend introduced me to it, I got hooked on it.
No pun intended. Well, let's do this. Show me how. Now this is a totally different hook than you would normally use, and I noticed that you always have them bright colored.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's the story. These are actually pop bottle openers. You can actually see the edges on there.
Did you make this?
No. The bright colors allow you to be able to see it in that clear water. Matter of fact, if you look out there in the water, there's a few orange ones where people have broke off.
Yes,
so
I've seen some of those, yeah. So that lets you know where your hook is in relation to all the fish.
Yeah,
so
you can
know
see
when to actually grab.
Exactly. What you're going to do is it's just like a normal standard spin cast reel. You're going to hold it down.
Okay.
But since this is so heavy, you can't just throw it like a regular lure. You want to just flip it and let it take your line.
Tim, I've never taken a ladder fishing before. What are we doing here?
Well, what the ladder's going to do is going to raise our eye view up quite a bit higher, where you can see down through the glare into the water.
Tim's over there throwing rocks into the river, and as a fisherman, you'd think that that is a complete no-no. But in this case, you actually do that. He's trying to drive the fish, move him towards me so I can grab him. Tim, I'm struggling. What's the secret? What am I missing?
Well, part of it is the speed of the water right here is taking your line downstream. And what we've got to do is got to get the fish over the line so that when you jerk, you're jerking into the fish or up from the back to the front.
Hopefully this is not another rock that we just caught. I think I see a fish. Oh my goodness, it's fighting. Yes. Now there's different kinds, blue and yellow. Is this yellow?
Right. Now this one looks yellow, but actually the scales are pretty small.
Oh, so that means
this is a
smaller.
blue. So it's a blue sucker.
So I finally got one. You think I can do this?
Well, sure you can.
No, you're just being nice.
You know, it took a little bit for you to get practice throwing the heavier hooks and the weights and get them in the right spot. You know, as a first timer, you made a lot of progress today.
Thank you.
And I think with a little bit of practice, you'd be able to do it better. Today was really hard. There wasn't a lot of fish in there. We could see a bunch, but it's still, if there was more fish there, you would have had success quicker.
Yeah, so all of this is in preparation for Sucker Day coming up, Mix's own holiday, and that is May 20th and 21st.
Right, starts on a Friday and goes through Sunday.
Yeah, make sure you come out for that because they will be frying fish, sucker fish, in the street. Everybody can sample that. How many fish do we need in total for everyone to have a sample?
You know, I think if we could get up to 200 fish, there'd be over 800 people would be able to get samples. There's a lot more than that that's coming through, but you know, some people wouldn't really want to try sucker fish.
So I have one, and so
we got a lot to go.
We've got a lot of work to do. We better get back to it.
And I'll be cooking, so stop by and give it a try.
Awesome. Thanks so much for taking me. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, we've been talking fishing a lot lately.
I know.
And that was a pretty good sized fish.
Can I just say I think they're really cute?
Yeah.
They're so cute!
I know.
Okay, no, I'm not saying I don't appreciate fishing. I eat fish. I'm not saying that.
I do too.
But I was just like, when it was going, oh.
Who was doing the sucker?
I was like, oh,
I
little
know.
baby.
I know. I felt like that too. I don't know. I've never caught a fish that big. I don't even know if I've ever caught a fish. Maybe I have, just like a little bitty one.
I know I have. My grandpa taught us to fish when we were young, and he loved going fishing.
Yeah.
And to me, fishing is so boring if you don't catch anything. If you catch stuff, it's fun, and you
Yeah.
keep going. But, oh my gosh. But then he would, we would catch the fish, go home to Grandma. We would scale them and
Did Grandma
cut
do
'em.
that?
Grandma and Grandpa both. We all had to help.
I'll tell you what, back in the old days, those folks were tough. My grandmother used to have chickens, and she would
Yeah.
take care of business. I couldn't do it.
I'm just a weak individual that I couldn't do it. I love fried chicken. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I just can't. I don't have it in me.
I don't want to see the process. I don't want to see what
I
goes
appreciate
on.
people who can though.
Well, I know. And
know.
That is exactly right.
But yeah, that's the whole thing too with that generation. Like I have lots of family who hunt and fish, and they use it all. It's
of
for
course.
sustenance. It's for eating. It's for what it's supposed to be, not just for sport. You know. And that's a time and a place. But I'm like,
No, I agree
if you're
with
gonna
that.
catch it and keep it, you better eat it.
I agree with that, yes. And so Sucker Days is May 24th, is that what she said?
20th, I think.
20th.
20th to 22nd.
22. Okay, I am close to next time. It's a good
There you
time,
go.
guys.
All right, coming up, we're checking with Kevin and Chris from 98.7 The Dub.
We'll be back.